The moment your baby locked eyes with you for the very first time, something was already happening. Not just bonding, not just love, something far more precise. Your baby was reading you. Most parents assume that psychological development, the kind that shapes who your child becomes, starts somewhere around age 2 or 3, when kids begin talking, when personalities seem to click into place. But a landmark series of studies out of Harvard University's Center on the Developing Child has now confirmed what a handful of researchers have quietly suspected for years. Your baby arrives with a psychology already in motion, not a blank slate, a blueprint. By the time your newborn is 72 hours old, they can distinguish your voice from a stranger's. By 6 weeks, they are tracking emotional tone, not just sound. And by 4 months, they are forming expectations about how the world will respond to them. Let that land for a second. Your baby is not waiting to develop a self. They are already constructing one, and you are the most important material they have to work with. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn exactly what neuroscience has confirmed about your baby's inner world, what it means for the way you interact every single day, and 3 simple things you can do starting today that align with how their psychology is actually wired. This changes everything, and it is simpler than you think. For decades, the infant brain was treated like a waiting room, a place where nothing serious happened until language arrived and cognition could finally be measured. Scientists assumed that because babies couldn't tell us what they were experiencing, they weren't experiencing much at all. That assumption has been dismantled completely. In the early 2000s, developmental psychologist Dr. Andrew Meltzoff at the University of Washington conducted a series of experiments that quietly rewrote the textbooks. He showed that newborns, some less than 42 minutes old, could imitate facial expressions. Stick out your tongue at a newborn, and they will stick theirs back out at you, not reflexively, intentionally. The baby is mapping your face onto their own body and responding in kind. What that tells us is staggering. It means your baby is not just perceiving the world, they are participating in it. But the research goes deeper, much deeper. Dr. Beatrice Beebe at Columbia University spent 2 decades filming mothers and infants during face-to-face interactions, sometimes frame by frame, slowed to fractions of a second. What she found was a communication system of extraordinary precision. Babies as young as 4 months were adjusting their expressions, their timing, their gaze in real time based on what their mother's face was doing. They were having a conversation without a single word. Here is the part that stays with you. In one phase of the study, mothers were asked to go still, completely neutral, no expression, no response. Within seconds, babies began working furiously to re-engage them, smiling, vocalizing, reaching. When that failed, they turned away, curled inward, and some began showing signs of distress that lingered even after the mother resumed normal interaction. The babies expected a response. They had a psychology built around that expectation. This is what neuroscience calls the serve and return system. Your baby sends a signal, a look, a sound, a reach. They are not just expressing themselves, they are waiting for you to return the favor. And every time you do, a neural connection is formed, a pathway is laid down. The architecture of their emotional world is being constructed one exchange at a time. Dr. Jack Shonkoff, director of Harvard's Center on the Developing Child, describes it plainly. The brain is built, not born. And the primary building material in those first months and years is the quality of interaction between a baby and the adults who care for them. Your baby is not becoming a person. They already are one. And every time you look back, lean in, or simply respond, you are confirming it. So, what do you actually do with this? Because knowing your baby has a psychology is one thing. Knowing how to honor it in the middle of a Tuesday when you are exhausted and the laundry is piling up is something else entirely. Here's the truth. You do not need a program, you do not need equipment, you do not need an extra hour in your day. What the research points to are small, precise shifts in the interactions you are already having. 3 of them. Step 1. Answer the reach. Every time your baby reaches toward you with their eyes, their hands, their voice, treat it as a question being asked. Because it is. They are asking, am I here? Do you see me? Will the world respond? Your job is simply to answer. This does not mean dropping everything the moment your baby fusses. It means developing the habit of acknowledging the signal before anything else. If your 4-month-old locks eyes with you across the room, hold that gaze for a moment. Nod, smile, say something. You are not spoiling them. You are building a neural pathway that tells their developing brain, the world is responsive. I am safe to explore it. That single belief, laid down in infancy, is one of the strongest predictors of confidence and resilience researchers have ever found. Step 2. Name what you see. Your baby cannot yet tell you what they are feeling, but they are feeling it, fully. And one of the most powerful things you can do is give language to their inner world before they can do it themselves. When your baby startles and cries, instead of only rushing to soothe, try saying it out loud first. That was loud. That scared you. I've got you. When they reach for something and cannot grasp it, say, you really want that. It's frustrating when it keeps moving. This is not talking to yourself. Research from UCLA, led by Dr. Matthew Lieberman, found that simply labeling an emotion, by putting it into words, reduces its intensity in the brain almost immediately. You are not just narrating, you are teaching your baby that their inner experience has a name, a shape, and that it is not overwhelming, that it can be held. You are building emotional literacy from the very first months of life, and it costs nothing except the habit of speaking what you see. Step 3. Repair without drama. Here's the part most parents need to hear most urgently. You will miss signals. You will be distracted, overstretched, simply human. There will be moments when you do not return the serve, when their eyes find yours when you are on your phone, when exhaustion flattens your expression at exactly the wrong moment. This does not damage your baby. What matters is what the research is absolutely clear on, is what happens next. Dr. Ed Tronick at the University of Massachusetts, the same researcher behind the still face experiments, found that it is not the rupture that shapes a child's psychology, it is the repair. Babies whose caregivers regularly reconnected after moments of disconnection actually developed stronger emotional regulation than those who experienced constant but emotionally flat interaction. So when you miss a moment, come back to it. Get down to their level, re-engage. Let your face warm back up. You do not need to explain yourself to a 6-month-old. You just need to return. That return is the lesson. It tells them connection can be lost and found again. People who love you come back. The world is fundamentally repairable. That is not a small thing to learn. That is the foundation of every relationship they will ever have. Think back to that first moment. Your baby's eyes are finding yours. That feeling that something profound was already happening, even if you could not name it. You were right. You were not imagining depth that wasn't there. You were meeting a person who was already present, already reading you, already building their understanding of the world from everything you gave them. Neuroscience did not create that truth. It simply finally caught up to what you already felt in that first locked gaze. And here is what that means for every ordinary moment that follows. You do not have to be a perfect parent. You do not have to be endlessly patient, perpetually present, or emotionally available every hour of every day. What your baby's developing psychology actually needs is simpler and far more within reach than that. It needs you to answer the question, to name what you see, to come back when you drift. That is it. That is the science. That is the work. If this changed the way you see your baby today, even slightly, share it with another parent who needed to hear it. Every caregiver who understands this gives a child a better start. That is why this channel exists. And remember this, your baby is not waiting to become someone. They already are. And every time you show up imperfectly, humanly, lovingly, you are the proof.